Welcome back to Real Estate Radio, and my goodness, in studio with us, the wonderful, the debonair, one of my favorite people on earth, Kristi Huber with the United Way. How are you, Kristi?
I am so excited to be here with you today.
Oh, thank you. I call you the Hubernator. I think I'm the only person that calls you the Hubernator.
I love that. I want a shirt that says that. Can you make that happen?
Oh, man. You've given me a lot of Live United shirts over the days and weeks and years, so I feel like I owe you a shirt, Hubernator shirt.
I would love that.
Okay. Well,
you are the king of branding, so I think that we could do this.
That's so kind of you. Speaking of branding, what did you brand yourself as for Halloween?
So every year, our office, we start to kind of do something as a collective. And this year, I was Dwight from The Office.
You were Dwight?
Yeah. So everything, even down to the pager. I had the pager.
Details matter.
Details matter. I mean, if you're going to pull off a good...
And did you act as Dwight?
Well, that's just kind of day to day, right?
Okay, yeah. You're the Dwight of the United Way office?
Hopefully not.
Okay, who is Michael Scott then? Because I would have assumed you were Michael Scott.
No, I know. That's the twist, right? Molly, who works in our office, she is Michael Scott.
I did not see that coming.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And actually, Summer from our office, who is our CPA, resident CPA, was Angela.
Oh.
So
that fit at least.
Because last year, Kelly and we were Wayne and Garth. From Wayne's World.
I do remember that. Yep. I'll tell you, I went as Woody from Toy Story 4, and Emily was Jessie, and Simon was Buzz Lightyear, and Finley was Bo Peep. And
I love that. Okay, but tell me the difference between Buzz Lightyear, Toy Story 4 versus Toy Story 1.
He's in it less. That's the only difference that I know is that he
doesn't have any secret weapons now.
To hear a 3-year-old who doesn't speak very well say "to infinity and beyond" it'll melt your heart though. And then they fight over Bo Peep's staff, and so that really was a weapon. That was a bad idea.
Yeah. But it's about the details.
Yeah. So Kristi, obviously you are the CEO, the president, the big cheese, the head kahuna at the United Way. I love the United Way. I got to serve as the campaign chair last year at the United Way. I think that people know and understand, and I'm on the board now, but people in the community maybe best know me for foolishly giving $500 for every home touchdown at the United Way or at the Bison football games for the United Way.
It has made me really excited about Bison games. I mean, I was excited about Bison games, but now I'm really excited. And the Hatch Cash has really just become something that I think people rally around as well.
Well, it's so interesting because usually the first couple of games are like the warm-up preseason games, and the Bison they'll score 7, 8, 9, or 10 touchdowns, and all of a sudden, I become more of the talk of the game in the United Way. I think somebody posted once that Erik was just seen with a suitcase full of money at Hector International Airport, fleeing the ground. Yeah.
Yes, it's perfect. And I love it when you look at the games and then you start to think about, okay, we know our team is really good. This other team might not be so good, and this might be really expensive for me.
I still want the Bison to win. I still want the United Way to do well, but I'm okay with them kicking a few field goals.
Because we don't pay for field goals. Nope, only touchdowns.
But we're about $60,000 in now with our investment the last 3.5 years, and it's all credit to the Hatch Realty team and my wife for saying that let's invest in this great organization.
So great. Well, and those dollars, those $60,000, go to help reduce hunger and homelessness, prepare children to succeed, help people live independently, and also help lift families out of poverty. So those $60,000 are going to maximize how many families we can help and individuals we can help in the community. It makes a huge difference.
Look at you sliding in those 4 bold goals just so casually.
Right? I love our bold goals because these are truly the goals in the community that not one organization could solve by themselves. And it's so cool to see how different organizations are coming together. Innovative ideas, new things that haven't been happening in the community are happening now. And it's because of collaboration. And I love that.
Yeah. And the United Way last year raised just over $6 million, going for, is it $6.25 million this year?
Over $6 million, yeah.
Absolutely. Which is so much money. And the United Way is in an opportunistic shift of leaning heavier into the housing first model.
Yeah.
Help people understand that, because I'm on the in and I know it and I'm so fired up about it, but I want to hear it from your mouth because you're so much more articulate with it than I am.
Well, I'm really passionate about how can we solve homelessness in our community. And we know so much from other research that's happening in different parts of the country, other in Canada, things that are happening, and we can take what are best practices and how can we bring that to Fargo? And so it's a collaboration with the homeless shelters, with the presentation partners in housing, with the Homeless Coalition. It is absolutely a team effort. But what we're seeing is with Housing First, your first and foremost goal is to move people from homelessness into safe, stable housing. And mostly,
it's not saying get your act together, sober up, deal with your mental health issues, and then you can get housing.
Right.
It's saying let's get you housing first,
yes,
literal housing first, and then you can take care of those things that are debilitating you. Right?
Absolutely, yes. That is the tenet. It's not judging if somebody is struggling with any of those things that you mentioned. It's about how can we first get people into safe, stable housing, because that's when you think about it. Everything builds from there. And how fortunate we each are to have safe housing each and every night. And then when we can wrap around services and we can get the exact services to the people that they need, because your challenges are not my challenges and my challenges aren't yours. So when we have those systems in place where we can help people at their point of need, it is super effective and it saves the community so much money because we're seeing if they're stably housed, there's less ambulance visits, there's less detox visits, less police calls, less city services.
And the likelihood of them to fall back into the perpetual habit is so much less as well, right?
Yes, because they're assigned a specific housing navigator. And so that housing navigator is just so fantastic that they are working side by side. They're cheering for them, but they're also connecting them with the resources they need. And it's working.
Why is this taken so long to become the thing? Because everything you just said is it costs less, it's more successful, it's less of an impact and a better long-standing result. Why isn't everything on this right now, Kristi?
I think it's because the community is still continuing to learn about it. I think that the community doesn't necessarily understand how there's been a shift in understanding how best to serve this population, but part of it is also we feel really confident because we can see the data and we know that it's working and we can see the long-term results. And so I think that it's just having more conversations like we are having right now.
Right.
And I think it's people asking questions. If they have questions, call United Way. Let's talk. You can call me, Kristi Huber at the United Way. Love to have a conversation.
Dwight Schrute of the United Way.
Or call Dwight Schrute. Yes, exactly. But that would be awesome. But no, I just want to make sure that the community is starting to have these conversations because there is a fundamental shift in how can we best, as our community continues to grow, how can we best serve and have the most successful outcomes? It's not just getting somebody housing, but have the long-term successful outcomes.
Kristi, I heard you say we want to end homelessness. Is that even possible?
It is. It is possible. We've seen other communities across the country that they have been able to end homelessness by changing the system and the way that services are supported. Also, I think it's also the community turning to see how can we keep more families in their homes. So many families are just one paycheck away from being evicted.
So many.
And so if we can look at it at two continuums, keeping people who are already housed, how do we do that? How can we best serve them? And then how can we look at rapidly housing those that are coming out of a homeless shelter? How can we find the best supports possible for them? That's how we can work on both ends and truly reduce homelessness in our community. And I think long-term, we can end it.
And the United Way's focus right now is on families, right? On women and children, and paying attention to that demographic first. It's not to say that other outside places aren't going to get supported, but there's a direct strategy. We saw Minnesota look to say we're going to target and end homelessness for veterans. And they've practically done it at this point.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really good thing to bring up. Minnesota has almost... They've been able to almost come out and say that they have ended veterans' homelessness because they've changed the system. They've allocated different resources. They've brought new partnerships together. They've got innovative ideas that they're bringing to fruition. We want to do the same thing in the community. And yes, our United Way is putting a focus on ending homelessness for youth and also families.
Yeah.
And so, we think that if we're going to break the cycle of homelessness and poverty, it starts with making sure that we are investing in kids first and foremost, and making sure that long-term how can we get them in a place where they have stability, where they have a healthy environment, where they can be ready to learn and go to school, and then have those steps to a great education, because that is a key in making sure that we have that cycle of poverty ended.
Yeah. Kristi, I could talk to you for forever about this, but unfortunately we have a 30-minute show.
What?
I know. Go figure. So, folks, if you want to learn more about United Way, follow them on Facebook. It's Live United Cast Clay, or you can find them online, unitedwaycastclay.org.
Yes.
Is that right?
That's perfect.
Hi, got
Just
it.
like you're a board member.
Thank you very much. We're going to go to break. Head to hatchrealty.com. And in the meantime, I'll be with you. This is Real Estate Radio with Erik Hatch.